This is something I've always wanted to do. There's a cop right over there.
To me, way, hey, go away.
Better?
The Lincoln Park Pirates
Here more.
are we. From Wilmette to Gary, there's nothing so hairy. We always collect our fees. To me, way, hey, go away. Now citizens gather around, and I think it's enough. And let's call it bluff. Let's tow the bum out of town.
We're standing on an empty lot on Sheridan Road in Chicago. And there's nothing here yet, but there is going to be. Because this lot is now owned by Home. Home is an organization founded 10 years ago to provide housing for the elderly poor. It's an organization that I'm crazy about, just crazy about. It was founded by two friends of mine, Lilo and Michael Salmon. Michael and Lilo met in Chicago in the 60s after they'd come here from Europe to do social work. Michael had come from France with the Little Brothers of the Poor, and Lilo was a swinging exchange student from Germany. They found they shared common professional interests and decided to make it personal.
We started Home because both my wife and I worked with the elderly for many years, and both of us knew the situation of the elderly poor. One of the predicament of those elderly poor, beside the lack of enough funds for medications, for doctors, and for food, is of course the lack of funds for decent housing.
So of course in the beginning we started very small. It was 3 of them, and all we had was a little van. And we started with moving mostly. But the word spread pretty quickly that there was a group out there that would help elderly people with subsidized housing. Do all the legwork, all the things that very often elderly people can't do for themselves. So there was a lot of work out there for us, and there still is.
When I first heard about Home, I thought, housing opportunities and maintenance for the elderly. What do I care? I'm not elderly. I don't need housing. But when you meet the people of Home, you can get hooked. For dozens of Home volunteers, their idea of a good time is to throw a painting party just after dawn in a senior citizen housing project.
I've been involved with Home for about 6 years. I've done everything, really, that a volunteer can do, including moving elderly people, painting apartments, painting hallways. It's really direct work, something that's going to really affect the elderly person. And that's what I enjoy most about it.
At the Home warehouse, volunteers pack household items to be delivered to the elderly poor. The full-time moving crew delivers donated furniture to seniors who need it.
When we first started moving, we really didn't know what we were doing. Every day I had to recruit young men, 2 or 3, to help us, depending upon how big the moves were. And so it was always an adventure. Most of them didn't want to come back because it was pretty hard work. But I remember one big move we had, I got lucky. I found Red, who is now the director of our moving crew. He's been with me ever since for the last 7 years. So things evolved from a very simple beginning to a rather sophisticated moving crew that we have now.
When I first met Stanley, he was living in a very dingy little basement where he paid more than 70% of his income for rent. I helped him with all the application process for subsidized housing, and finally we were able to look at one in his neighborhood where he really wanted to be.
Yeah, that sounds like about I was right. Contacted by Mrs. Ward, who was about to be evicted from her furnished room. She was living in a single-room apartment that was practically unlivable for a person in her condition. The apartment was up a flight of stairs, the bathroom was down the hall, and the only bathtub was on the second floor of the building. I was able to help her get a wheelchair-accessible apartment in a federally subsidized building where she would be paying a lower rent.
He helped me an awful lot because I didn't know what to do. There was no clothes on, and then he puts it in the back of his car.
Right. Well, you feel like you can get up and go now?
Get the wheelchair.
You need the wheelchair, or you want to grab onto this arm?
You may let me go.
Come on, get this arm.
You may let me fall.
No, I won't
Y'all
let you fall. It's two of us here. Okay, you're almost down. Yeah. One more. Here we go. There you go. Thank you. We move about 2 people a day. That's the basic day. 2 moves a day, then we go out and pick furniture up for them. It don't matter whether it's the 3rd floor or the 4th floor, we move them. Summer, spring, winter, and fall. Every day, all day. We furnish the apartments for free. We give them furniture for free. Out of the bad homes into the good homes. This is all yours, though, babe. You can take it to Mississippi if you want to. It's all yours. They usually try to give us tips, but we tell them to donate it to home or keep it for things that they can use around the house. Most of the time, the response is a cry.
This is beautiful.
Okay.
Yes, you couldn't have did no better.
Yeah, just like a millionaire.
They always cry.
Having a clean, neat, affordable apartment doesn't necessarily mean you're living. You still have to eat. You have to get to the store. And if you're 85 or 95, it gets a little tricky. The people of home have figured out how to do that too. The home shopping bus makes regular stops at senior citizens' buildings around the city. It takes the residents to supermarkets they couldn't get to on foot, where they can find a wider selection of foods and stretch their dollars.
This does afford us a great deal of safety and prevent crime and pocketbook snatching by some of the little gangsters, and this is much appreciated.
Home provides moving, furniture, and shopping. But their most brilliant idea, the idea that sets them apart from any other outfit in the business, makes them number one in the business, is their concept of intergenerational shared housing.
It was Lilo, really, who had the first idea to have permanent houses where there will be this type of mixture, and not nursing homes, not retirement homes, in quote, but intergenerational shared living communities.
Michael and Lilo are planning to build a new home that will bring people of many different ages together under the same roof. Home has already tried out this intergenerational idea on a smaller scale. In 1983, they started the Pat Crowley House, a converted six-flat that's now home to 11 seniors, 4 students, and a family with 2 young children. In 1985, Home established the Oak Park House, where 15 seniors and 5 students now live.
Oh, yeah. I used to drink, gamble. When I got out here, why, I give all that stuff up. I'm sort of a home boy now.
Shared housing helps widowed seniors break out of isolation and enter a real community. The students receive free room and board for helping around the house. And the children at the Pat Crowley House enjoy the luxury of having 4 big sisters and a dozen grandparents.
Okay, do this one now.
You don't get that old feeling where you look out the window and look at the people going by.
Yeah.
We go downstairs and we talk to the people and we make jokes. They're not funny jokes, but we think they're funny, you know, and we laugh. And that's, I think, keeps us young and happy here, you know.
And finally, he asked me for a date, so I went out with him. We only went out a month and we were married.
You went out a month and got married?
Mm-hmm. That's all you need.
I like that guy.
Did you? No, I couldn't stand him. He fell all over the mound. He did everything that a pitcher shouldn't
He was
do.
no ballet dancer.
But he was successful.
He was.
It's just me. I just didn't like his style, that's all.
What makes a game.
He promised to tell them when the circus was coming back again. Okay, next page.
I know how it's gonna end. They're gonna go
Cooler grin as the pound puppies rolled off in Nabbitt's truck. He was already wondering about, let me read it. You kids, do your thing. I gotta hear what happens.
They're gonna go inside.
Don't tell me what happens. Get out of here. And a few people get bugged with the kids here. I mean, you gotta say so. You know, they don't want the little kids around. I do, because they keep you hopping.
You gonna give me my intro? All right. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Through many dangers, toils, and fears, we have already come. 'Twas grace that brought us safe this far, and grace will bring us home.
There is going to be a special house someday, you know, that is going to be called the Natalie Salmon House, which, of course, you know, Natalie is Michael and Lilo's daughter, their only child. And they wanted this special house in her memory. But knowing her, how beautiful this girl was and how beautiful she was inside, you know, what a giving person she was and whatnot, that house has got to stand behind that name.
This is where the Natalie Salmon House will be, right on this lot. I know it for a fact because I've already booked a room on the 4th floor with a fine view of Lake Michigan over there. I couldn't be happier for anyone than I will be for Michael and Lilo Salmon and the people of home and the people who will live in this home the day that it's finished. I don't know what to say after that. I don't know how to ask for money.
Praises for holy name. Praises for holy name. Praises for holy
Now we can get started, huh?
Praises for holy name. Amazing grace.
Last time I had one of those pins on me, the pin fell on the floor.
Oh, you poor baby. There you go.
Upstairs.
You poor baby.
Billy, you're so silly.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
How long were you in the hospital, Bill?
1.
They want to keep me longer, but I told them I wanted to go to the racetrack.
Oh, yeah.
3.
Aroof. What's this aroof? Snowball gave a special bark. What does that mean? Aroof.
That's a bark like this. A roof.
That's nice that somebody wanted to be traded
Yeah.
to the Cubs, you know?
He didn't have any trouble. We wanted him. Heaven knows they need pitching, be gods.
Never know, dear, how much we love you. Don't take our sunshine away. Yeah. I don't know if they do any good.